live. Let me just log onto the computer to see what we've got here and see what this looks like. Let's see if we can change the title. Fixing bilge pump live. Okay, bilge, what's going on here? Bilge pump live. Okay, so what we're going to do, bilge pump has got issues. What we're going to do, turn down the sound a bit here. Bilge pump has got issues. No more sound for you. I'm going to leave this running in the background. Pin the message. Okay, so this is, we'll show this once we've got some people there and open the package. Let's see what that looks like. But for now, let's open this up. And run the bilge pump to see how much water we've got in here. So a bit did it in the water, I don't know where it's from. Dead mosquito. Okay, so let's see. We don't have any company yet. Okay, so the pump has been run dry. So let's bring the camera closer here so we can take a look inside. Let's actually bring the camera up here first, and we'll look at this. Sit on here. Okay, so this is the new bilge pump, and we're going to open this up. Rule mate. Okay, and that's all we need. And what's most important is this has three wires. So a plus and a minus, and there's a wire override for the float switch, so that it can be triggered from a switch instead of waiting for the pump to come. I'm just going to be figuring out how to do all this wiring so it doesn't get wet air. And the other challenge is figuring out how attach this to the existing, because we don't want to do any more work than necessary. So let's we'll bring the camera down and park it where we can see what this looks like inside here. Okay, so it's a nice picture, isn't it? Let's see, how good is the picture? It's not super good quality. I wonder why. Is that because the let's turn off this music. It doesn't really help us any. Okay, so the picture quality isn't the greatest in the world. Okay, let's get the old pump out, and what are we going to need? We're going to need a screwdriver. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think that having more of a light is going to make a lot of difference. I'm going to get a light so I can see better what's going on down there. Where's the power supply for this light? Everything's hiding underneath something else. Okay. Let's see if we can get a light in here to light this up a little bit better. Let's see how this is going to work. Can I it doesn't fall down and break. What about this heavy here? That's not a good thing. How about take this, turn this completely. And put something heavy on here to keep it from moving. What's good and heavy? Toolbox. These box of bolt parts. It's good and heavy. I wonder if we can just shine it in there. No, that's not a very good way of holding this up. What's a good way to hold this up? Hey, Cesar Mocha, thanks for coming by to watch me try to repair my bilge pump. But right now I'm just trying to get enough light in here so that the I can see what I'm doing and so that the camera can see what it's doing. I'm not 100% sure how I want to do this. What's a good solution? Oh, how about if I put this under this cushion? There we are. That's not going to move. Okay, so now the first challenge is, so this is the new pump. It's a little bit different shape, but I think it's going to work. And let's take out the old one. And I'm going to try to watch the chat from time to time. Tuber, thank you for coming by. We're not that exciting, depending on your understanding of excitement, but the bilge pump has expired, and we're getting some water in, and that's not a good thing for a boat to get water on the inside. The reason for having a boat is to have the water outside. So the challenge is getting in here and taking out the old pump and putting in the new one. So I'm not totally watching the chat. Let's see, how does this thing work? So there's a cable tie there. So let's remove this cable tie. Where's my cutters? So we're going to have to remember, cable tie held. Okay, cable tie is out. Now we're going to have to remember that we had a cable tie to hold that in. Now, what's holding the actual pump on? It said there's some screws. Okay, let's remove the hose, because then we can, what are we seeing there? Yeah, let's remove the hose, and then we can see. Okay, so cable clamp coming off. And the new pump is a bit bigger. The old one is 750 gallons per minute per hour. The new is 800, but he said that the guy at the boat store said that the hose is going to be the same size. So that's what's important from this perspective. Okay, so that's off. We might as well leave that out of the way. No, let's get it out of the way over there. Okay, so this is a grounding strap going into the battery department. Now, what is this? What is that? That's another grounding strap going somewhere. Okay, so there's a bunch of grounding straps connecting to the keel. But my question is, what holds this on here? If I look at the old one, the new one, it has screws. Oh, I see. Okay, so this will come off. Will it come off or will it not come off? Let's look at the manual. Okay, let's look at the manual to see how it expected to be connected to the keel. Okay. Muggy and filthy down there. But let's see. Okay, so where is this new manual, and how does it expect you to attach it? French, German, English. Where's English? Hopefully there's English here somewhere. Electrical. Purpose of the manual. Okay, so here's the pump. And how does the, okay. Let's see if we can find a pair of glasses here so we can read the fine print on this thing. let's see, fine print. Installation. Push the tab on either side of the pump to remove the pump from the base. Okay, so we're going to, here it says push the tab. Oops, I don't want to get that wet. That's the solder that. Ah, there we are. So there's the base. If we're lucky, the old base is going to fit. And then all we have to do is solder on the wires. Okay, let's see if we can find the tab or similar tab on the old pump as on the new pump. Not a lot of room here. I've got a sore knee, so it's harder to kneel down than it should have been. Ah, there goes the manual. Well, we're not taking it back anyways, it doesn't matter. Okay, so is there a tab here anywhere? Yeah, there's a tab. Okay. And the old one comes off. Well, that's easy enough. Now, the tab mechanism is totally different, right? Okay, so now it wants me to go drilling holes in here to make this fit. Okay, where does this wire go? Do I have to lift off this piece of wood? It's got screws, right? So I can't reach in there. Where does it go? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll cut the old wire, pull it back enough, and then solder the wires on because the colors are the same. Yeah, they haven't changed the colors. So my biggest question is, okay, so this won't fit the old, okay, so there's, oh, I see, so that's got a filter there. I wonder if I have to get all this water out to let this dry. Okay, what if I don't do that? What if I just find a way of jamming this in here? No, that's not going to work. What if I figure out a way of jamming it in there? And I don't really want to drill holes in the bottom of the boat, especially while it's wet. Okay, so how would I make this fit if I didn't want to drill holes? Because the first option is, okay, not sure what this is for. Oh, that's just the grounding wire. Okay, so that's grounding. That can go there. That can go there, and that ground goes over to the other side. So what if I leave that like that, and okay, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a cable tie through here into the around that screw, and another cable tie on this side. And then it'll just be cable tied on here, and that should work. Okay, so we need a couple cable ties. Where do we think you'd hide the cable ties? Oh, pardon me. we'll do is this comes out here, and that'll go in there. Yeah, so there's enough room for that. Kind of messy. Let's wipe off some of them on here so that it doesn't feel so slippery to touch it. Okay, so now what am I going to do? I need a cable tie. Two cable ties. Where am I going to find two cable ties? Should be a box of electrical parts in the back. We're digging for that. But there might be some up here as well. There's some small ones here, but no decent enough size to hold this together. Also, maybe a small one is all that we need. Two small ones. There's no real pressure on that thing. It's not moving. It's vibrating a little bit from the pump itself. Okay, so I don't see any cable ties in here. So the cable ties are in the back of the boat. Okay, so excuse me for a minute. I'm going to go find some cable ties. I gotta go find some cable ties. Okay, so that's that. Cable ties. I can cable tie that right into there. I want it to be a little bit lower though. Stuck that high, it's going to not fit. So what we'll do, cable tie there, cable tie there. Let me find some cable ties. I'll be back. I'll be back. Let's get some music going in the background here. Where's my background music? Okay, let that play in the background. And then let me go find some cable ties. Cable ties in there, that's my soldering gun. Cable ties, cable ties, cable ties, cable ties. Who's got the cable ties? Where's the box of electrical bits? Let's see if the box, some electrical bits. There's cable ties. Sort of expected to be. cable ties. Why is there no cable ties in the box that's supposed to be electrical parts? That's a mystery. Okay, so somewhere there's another box of electrical parts. Electrical, electrical, where's electrical? Not electrical, not electrical. Is this electrical? Not electrical. Here's electrical. Okay, let's... Hey foodies, I'm back. Well, I had mentioned that I had a problem with the bilge pump, so I went and bought a new one. And it's not exactly the same as the old one. And it's got holes that drill it into the keel, into the hull. And I'm not sure I want to do that at this point. I'd rather do that when I can dry it out properly because there's water in there, and I don't want the holes getting full of water. So what we're going to do is we're going to cable tie in the mounting bracket for the new one, and then let that sit for the time being until we have an opportunity to okay, so how am I doing this? Okay, so that's going to come through there. That's good. And this is the new bracket. It's got holes in the bottom for it to be bolted on as well. As I don't want to do that bolting at this point. So let's see if we can do this with one hand. Because that's the other challenge, to get your hands in there. It's a little bit cramped. There's that hole. Now, the problem is I don't really know where the water was coming in. And that's concerning because water's not supposed to come into the boat, water's supposed to stay outside the boat. Okay, so let's see if we can get this piece of cable tie going back the other way. Coming out the other side. There it is. Okay, so we loop the cable tie through the old bracket and the new bracket. And it's not enough, it needs more. Needs to be more, hands are too big for this tiny little space. Okay, so now, oh, that's good. Let's get that through there. Where's the, okay, this has moved a little bit. This moves, so where is my, that didn't come through properly. Okay, so now the cable tied the other end of it. To fit with only one hand is going to be a major challenge. How can I get in there? Okay, so there's that. If I can get my hand in there long enough to pull that through, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. So how am I going to what if I do it this way? Okay, what if I can't tie it at all? What if I just rely? What if I rely on the hose to hold it in place and cable tied on the ground wires? Will be planned. Okay, so let's install this. Oh, I see. So that. Okay, so we're not doing that. It doesn't have to be right down to the bottom anyway. Put that in together. Okay, now what we want to do is take that cable tie, and this cable tie is wired together so it's not flopping around loose. Okay, so now let's make sure that this actually fits in here. Oh, you don't fall in there yet. Let's see, does that fit in there? Yeah, that's good. Open this up a little bit. Okay, we'll put that like that. Oh, I see. So this doesn't have a very long throw before it catches, right? That's weird. Why is it that isn't that tighter? Okay, let's tighten it anyway. It's only plastic, so plastic on plastic should grip pretty well. Okay, so now how are we gonna get this thing in there? Okay, so there it is there. But the hose is the wrong way around, right? Okay, so we're gonna have to loosen that screw and turn that so that it's right side up. And then we'll have enough that we can let's loosen this. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, where's this cable tie? Let's not leave it lying in there. It's gonna get stuck on something. Okay, I like that. Okay, let's put that on there to keep that from moving. Oh yeah, can we turn this screw? Shoot, it needs to be tighter. Oh no, it's good. I can move it. So this is YouTube copyright-free music for creators. Okay, so now, what am I going to use to hold it in here? I need a long cable tie. Okay, but instead of worrying about the cable tie at this point, let's worry about electricity. How are we going to wire this thing up? How are we going to wire this thing up? Ugh, gross. I'm surprised that I don't have a package of big cable ties for the boat. Okay, let's find another shot at finding a big cable tie. Look in the main toolbox. There might be some in the main toolbox. People that are watching, join the chat, subscribe. Love to have you. If you have suggestions on how I can attach this thing and keep it from moving without without drilling more holes in the boat, that will be fantastic. But let's see if we can find a bigger ties. You know, usually I have cable ties everywhere. These cable ties are so useful. You can do all kinds of things with cable ties, and today there's no cable ties. What kind of nonsense is that? No cable ties. No cable ties. So. How come there are no? Oh, there's a cable tie. One long one. There's another long one. Okay, so we found a couple cable ties. Not very long, but they'll do. Better than those little ones. Okay, so I think I need to remove the rest of this floor here so that I can get at the electrical connections. But let's put this cable tie in. I'm going to take a shirt. I don't want to get it off the tape. Okay, so we find a way Should have done that. Let's see, that's not long enough to go through there. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to cable tie the hose onto here. What is this? This is a ground wire. This is pretty sturdy, and that'll be enough to keep it from. See, okay, so we're live. So it did. I think partly it's because the signal isn't getting there. Let's just line this up better. Where's the camera? Okay, what if I were to put the camera on this side? It's high enough that it's not blocking the Wi-Fi signal. And we still get to see what we're doing here, I think. I don't want to just see that stupid chair. How about if I put the camera here? There we are, so we can see the source of all this excitement. And we'll put, that's not going to move, that's good. Can I go a little bit further here? No, because if I go further, then I lose, all I see is the seat of the boat. Okay, so what am I trying to do? We're trying to connect the wiring. We need 3 pieces of heat shrink tubing. There was a bunch of it on here. I think I used up some of it. It's too big. Yeah, that won't shrink. What have I got here that's smaller? Okay, so I don't have enough heat shrink tubing. Let's use the smaller pieces. And here we've got a piece of red. Okay, so that's that. Let's put this here. Where's the soldering gun? The soldering gun's over here. Let's fire up the soldering gun. Who else has come aboard our little undertaking here? People are watching, but not joining in. That's okay. Nice to have you no matter what. Okay, soldering gun. Oh, there's some heat shrink tubing in here. Some smaller pieces, thinner pieces. Will this fit? Yeah, that'll fit. So let's, okay, so what did I do here? Those have been opened. I need to keep them from falling in the water. What if I stuff them up there? Let's cut, make these a bit wider so they solder better. I will put this on. Before I strip the wire, it's going to make it easier to get it back on there. Okay, you got a long piece. Okay, your black is ground. I totally care about ground. Let's see if we can get this down. So for black, we're going to use a bigger piece of tubing, because that's what I got. Okay, let's see. Proper wire strippers would be nice, but we don't have those, so we'll have to just use diagonal cutters. There we are. Okay. Now, so we got our trusty welder soldering gun. Oh, there's our, it's not showing up in the picture. Eventually, well, there we are. Trusty welder soldering gun. I don't know how long I've owned this thing. Many years. Probably has a date on the side somewhere. Back from the days when it was made in the States. Is it made in the States? Doesn't say where it's made, doesn't matter. Okay, we got some solder here. Now, let's figure out how to hey, Kyle Shill. Thanks for coming aboard my live. It's really just me trying to replace the bilge pump. The bilge pump died. It wouldn't shut itself off, so I disconnected the fuse. But somewhere we've got a leak, because when it rained a couple of days ago, we had water in the boat. Not in the boat, but in the bilge. And we don't really want that. That's not good for the boat. So I came down yesterday for the live and reconnected the fuse on the bilge pump to pump it out. And I stopped at the dock shop today to pick up a new pump. Now, the new pump, unfortunately, isn't an exact replacement. The mounting screws are in different places. So it's being held in by a cable tie, and because I don't want to drill holes in the bottom of the boat while there's water in there, because then it'll seep into the fiberglass. So we'll wait till the winter when it's totally dry, and then wire it better. But the cable ties should be adequate to hold it all together. So I moved the camera up because I was losing Wi-Fi in the bottom of the boat. Let's just see if we can make the picture a bit bigger. There we are. Yeah, that's adequate. We can see that. While I'm up, I'm going to get a sip of water for myself. It is warm here. I was talking to Arizona Jake yesterday, and he was 112 in Arizona, so we're not it's not that warm. But It's probably 27. Celsius. Okay. We got some water for the captain. Let's get rid of this other water bottle. We don't need that anymore. It's just ridiculous. Yes, power. Okay, we got power for that. We've got solder. Pardon me. Okay, so let's see. Can you see this? I'm going to use the old wires. Why? Because it's easier than rewiring the whole thing. I'm just going to solder this up here nicely and hope that the shrink tubing will fit over it afterwards. I guess that should work. You know what? I'm going to actually see if that small shrink tubing might be too big for this, too small for this. So let's see. Do we see this? Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Oh, okay, so we're not seeing all the excitement of the soldering, so let's move the camera just a hair. Let's move the camera just a hair. There we are. Okay. Just back on top of here so that this thing doesn't fall. Okay, so now we can see where the soldering fun is happening. Oh, pardon me. Time's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock already. I said I'd do something else at 6, so I can't be too much longer on having all this much fun. Let's make sure that the phone has power while we're doing this. Where did the phone power go? Here it is. Oh yeah, we had 60% power, so that wasn't going to be an issue anyway. Okay, so let's this thing is hard on my knee. application cushion here somewhere. Let's see if we can reach it. That might be a solution to something to kneel on. Gotcha. Oh, that's nicer. That's nicer. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to, that's a good soldering joint. These parts there, not really. Do I have a pair of pliers up here? Proper pliers? Where did they go? I had pliers. They have moved. Okay, so then we just use this. That's good. Let's push this piece of shrink tubing over top of the solder joint and heat it up to shrink it. That keeps the water out. So we'll use the thicker shrink tubing. That other's too small. It'll okay. Smell melting plastic. I don't want it to melt. I just want it to shrink. Piece of junk. You know what we're going to do? We're going to actually try to okay. So I wonder if I can, okay, so that's the black wire to black. Now where is, that's brown and white, so this is brown. Let's connect brown to brown. Okay, so what we're going to try to do, let's see if this will slide over it. Yeah, it should. Let's give it a try. If not, then I'll have to unsolder it and use the bigger thing. So that's good. That's nice and tight. Okay, let's solder this one. The light bulbs don't work anymore. At the end of the world. First time I had a welder soldering gun, I was working in a TV repair shop in high school. Those were the days. Breathing in rosin core lead solder probably wasn't good for you. And melt. Okay, I think that's good. Let it cool off. Tug on it a bit. I didn't bring those other pliers. Oh, hold on, I've got decent pliers to spruce this together a bit better. Where did they go? Their needle nose is big enough for what we're trying to do here. Anybody new? Nobody new. Where did they go? Had a pair of big needle nose pliers. Oh, there they are. Okay. There they are. Even better, real pliers. Just to squeeze the loose strands of copper so that the shrink tubing fits better. Okay, let's see. Is it tight? Yeah. Now will it slide on? That's the $52 question. Let's warm it up a bit. You know what? That's not going to work. Okay, we'll come back to this later. We'll use the thicker shrink tubing here. Did that shrink properly? The thicker shrink tubing is a little bit too thick. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, where's the other end of this wire? Wire. Where's my blue and white? Here's my black, brown, and white. Okay, so let's connect this together. Loose. What's going on? I think this needs another 1/8 of an inch moved. Off you go. There you are. Now let's put the thick, so the thick shrink tubing is on there. Okay, that looks good. Before I unsolder the other one, I'm going to try to warm up the shrink tubing enough that it might slide over it. Solder. I think it did. It did. Okay, let's slide that over. And let's shrink him. Shrinking, it's also melting a little bit, but I guess the objective is to make it shrink, and that's all that's most important. Keep the water out. It's only 12 volts. We were super worried about short circuits, but even then 12 volts running through a wet surface is not good for the system. Okay, so that one is done. So now let's go back to this guy. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, I'm not happy with that. I don't think I can squeeze it anymore to make it fit. Maybe it's not totally true. No, that's not going to work. Okay, let's abandon all hope here. Cut that off. Cut that off. Get rid of that. Okay, we need a longer piece of shrink tube. Let's open the strip this wire. Strip this wire. Get that moved out. Okay, now where is that thicker piece of shrink tubing that I had? Is anybody new here? Hey Suzanne, welcome to my boat project. I'm trying to fix the bilge pump. We got some water in. There was a rain. I don't know where the water's coming in, but this way at least it won't stick around for too long. So what do I have to do? I have to buy some more heat shrink tubing. So this was bought from Radio Shack. So Radio Shack, if you're in North America, you remember Radio Shack. It was where you went to buy parts to make ham radios, amateur radios, and all kinds of other good stuff. And they have been out of business for I don't know how many years, 20 years, 30 years. And so this shrink tubing is still from Radio Shack. So it's obviously very old, and replacing it is going to be a challenge. We'll save the small pieces because they will fit in certain environments. Let's just see what we're up to here. Oh, we lost him at one point, right? Okay, so there's another. Oh, this is the piece I'm using for here. Okay, that's I don't know what that black crap is there. We'll try to clean that up over here at my boat cleaning compound in the back somewhere. Let's put this piece of shrink tube on here. Nicely. You might wonder why I'm not using quick connectors and all those other neat things. The problem is this could get wet, and the quick connectors have no way of protecting themselves against moisture. So soldering is the most reliable and is impervious to moisture. So let's solder up this other guy here, and then we'll try it out. Now, there's not a lot of water in there, so the fluid might not go out by itself, so I have to pour in a bunch of water and see what okay, we're finished with the solder. Clean up all the mess. Okay, let's shrink this tube. It's a kind of plastic that when it gets heated, it shrinks and it makes a watertight seal. You use tape, electrical tape, you can't create the same level of seal as this provides. So this is a little bit too big, the other one was too small. See, it's not actually sealing on there yet, so let's heat it some more. I end up soaking this all in silicone at some point. Okay, let's shrink this end. Okay, that's nice. That's a little bit too big, so it's not shrinking properly. Okay, but it will do. Let's leave it at that. Okay, let's clean up the mess. Let's leave this loose here for now. But let's clean up our mess anyway. Got a little bit of water and insulation falling into things and clogging up. It's not going to be worth it. I thought it was a $300 pump. It was only $200. So we're a bit ahead of the game. Let's see what else we got here. That's it. We'll save this little cable tie for now. Yeah, so what is all this black crap here? It's not perfect, but it's better than it was. Okay, so let's see. Let's fire up the power to this thing. Okay. Do I have a bag for the refuse? Not really. Okay, so let's put the refuse over there. Okay, we're going to save this piece of save these cable ties. Save this piece of how will we know that it works? Okay, I'm going to reconnect the fuse temporarily first. And let's see what that gives us. If there's not enough water to trigger the okay, so there's not enough water to trigger the float switch, but the manual switch. Okay, so the manual switch works, because at one point I was worried that it was the manual switch that was defective, and that's why it kept running. but it was really the float on the old one. So the old one is now garbage. So what I want to find out is will it trigger itself? So let's reconnect the fuse properly. We don't need this anymore. The solder holds the solder, who knows? It's not Radio Shack anyway. It's not as old as the shrink tubing, and it's not as old as the soldering gun. And the guy that used to own this boat was an electrical engineer, so it came with a bunch of interesting stuff. And one of them is a soldering gun, but it's one of the little stick guns. I don't like the stick guns. The thing they do well, not hot. They do well is they heat up better than this, because this one's only hot from the electricity flowing through the tip, whereas the soldering sticks are they're heated up when the thing's turned on, and they're a little smaller. They reach into things better. So what are we going to do with all this loose wiring? I guess we're going to stuff it up inside that piece of coil tube, but that's not today's problem, right? Let's reconnect the main fuse for all of this. Okay, Suzanne. Yeah, come back. Yeah, again. Wonderful channel. Nice chat. Interesting people in her chats. Definitely go visit her. Okay, let's see. I guess I need to my butt in here. Or pieces of wire cover that's going to hurt the pump. Okay, let's see how we do this. What's this? A piece of shrink tube, but that piece got cut off, so we're not going to save that. Yeah, I'm really curious why. Okay, so this one here is connected to this wire. Where's that screw? Okay, so it goes back onto the main switch. That's this one underneath here. It was connected before. Tighten that bolt nut. There's still so many things I don't totally understand how this. And this is my friend, ex-friend's part of this. Let's get this connected. Around. Copper. I guess it's brass nut. stretch a little bit on the side. Okay, that's good and tight. Before we close that up, let's make sure that it actually works. So what are we going to do with this wire? Let's put a couple of cable ties on it so it doesn't flop around all over. Billy Bob, thank you for coming by. Missed you there for a second. Trying to fix the bilge pump. So we've replaced the old pump. Got it to fit in the existing holes. Let's put it inside the cable cover that's in here. Wires. Okay, there's 3 wires. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just leave this loose for now. Just leave it loose for now. And because there's no activity in here that's going to compromise the cables. But we'll just put another cable tie on here to keep it all modestly neat. Okay, and where did that go? Okay, let's see if when we put a bunch of water in here, it runs off by itself. I guess I should have left the fuse disconnected so I could actually pour in a bucket of water. I don't have a bucket. What am I going to use as a bucket of water? What have I got as a bucket of water? Where am I going to get some water from? Where am I going to get water? Yeah, you know, looking at it on the camera, it actually doesn't look too bad. I guess plan B would be to open there's a hot water tank drain that will fill that drains into the bilge. Oh, plan C, the shower drains into the bilge. Haven't used a shower in this vessel ever, but maybe that's going to be a plan. Why don't we try that? Let's see if I Okay, it works better when you turn on the water. Water system's off. Yeah, water system's off. Okay, how does this? I got this thing figured out at one point. There we are. Okay, what's going on here? Why is this not working? Oh, because it's way over to that side, that's why. Let's see. Okay, so that should run water tank water into the bilge. Be good if it cleans that out a little bit. And we're getting water. The problem is I can't hear the pump running. The other pump is making too much noise. Okay, so that's not going to be a good solution. It's going to take the rest of our lives to get enough water to fill that up. Used to be a bucket. Where's my bucket? Bucket, bucket, bucket. Who's got the bucket? Oh, bucket back. That's what the bucket is. A boat cleaning bucket. Let's get the boat cleaning bucket. I've always wanted to take pictures of swallows. So now, and there are never any around. So now there's a whole lifetime supply of swallows sitting on the rail, and I didn't bring a decent camera. So let's see. Looks good. That's not going to come apart. Let's get some water here. It'll make a lot of noise, but this will be enough that it will let us know that the pump is coming on by itself. Okay, so this bucket is what, 2 gallons? That should be enough to create enough of a okay, now let's see. Let's make it bigger. We can't make it bigger. Let's see if we can make it turn it a bit more. So I'm not sure that we're going to be able to tell a lot from watching the camera. But we should actually rinse that shower out. So let's pour in our bucket of water. Easily 2 gallons. I hear it running. You can see it running. Let's look outside. See if it's coming outside. And is it going to stop? Come on, pump, stop. Stopped. So it obviously, that's what we wanted. And I think basically we have accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. We shared the adventure of replacing the bilge pump. I'm going to just run one more bucket of water through it. We want to the bilge cleaner. That's a bilge cleaner. Okay, so we don't have any bilge cleaner, but we have some boat wash. I'm going to pour that into the shower and then run a bucket of water through from that side. So that has never been used in 5 years. And a lot of crap coming through there. Now the problem a little bit is um, this is a bit of a soapy solution, so the pump's going to get air bubbles. So let's put enough water in to okay, so it's running. Give it another. And we will have to get in there with a scrub brush and clean that out a little bit. It's a little bit gross. So what we'll do is we'll run another half a bucket. Okay. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. Now let's come on, pump. Okay, I think I'm going to put another bucket of water in there. Okay, it just fired up. Okay, got that. Let that run some more. Okay. Let's see what we see. Yeah, it's warm here. It looks like it's out properly. Have to get in there with a brush. I'll do that now that we've seen how much mess is in there. Wash that out again. You want to wash under all the floors to get the some of the sort of moldy smell out of the way. And let's see if how do I hide the chat? Not sure how to hide the chat, so we won't worry about it. Let it sit for a minute. And I think we've had as much fun as we're going to have here. We all go sit outside for a few minutes and get some fresh air. Yeah, why don't we do that? Let's go sit outside for a few minutes. And somebody else is washing out his boat as well. I can't really see what is in the picture, so I'm assuming it's basically me. It's yeah, there's a bit of wind today, not that much. It was supposed to rain in the afternoon because I wanted to be down here while it was raining to see where the water was coming in. And it's been pushed off. It was pushed off from 3 till 6, and now it's been pushed off till 8 o'clock. And I'm not going to be here till 8. As much fun as we're going to have to. We'll see if the we'll see after the first rain. I'll come down and try to find out where this water is coming from. I suppose I could accomplish the same thing by just running the hose on the deck, and I work my way from front to back, and every time the hose is moved a foot to see if I'm getting water and whether it is. Oh, there's a hornet. They make mud nests in the sail. It hasn't been used for a couple of weeks because they're looking for a place to lay some eggs. Let's put this here and get a better look at the outside world. I guess I could sit in the sun because I want to sit in the sun anyway. I've got to put away the buckets, so why don't I do that? And work on the tan. This is where all the cleaning supplies live. What did I do with that boat wash that I just used in the what else is in here? That's, oh, there's a water tank cleaner. I'm assuming I can see myself in the sun. It's hard to see on the phone and it's bright outside. But yeah, it's been interesting with this bilge pump. It's the original bilge pump. It's 25 years old. So I guess that's not the end of the world that it It died after that. There's the, okay, I'm just trying to see what the camera sees. I was out here too late last night. Did the live, and then I did some work on the boat, and then went for a bit of a drive. It's sort of a rural industrial area, even though it's within 15-minute drive to the center of Toronto. So I like that darkness. Oh, there's another boat like this over on the other side. But I think he's got the other kind of mast with the in-mast furling. So it was a nice drive in the dark. You can see the downtown lights so bright from here, and all the bank towers. You see the reflection of the lights on the water. So they're very. It's a very pretty area, and I'm wondering whether we're getting wind noise, because I feel a breeze. I'm not sure where the breeze is coming from. Hard to tell. Oh, it's coming from the west, so it's the camera's blocked from the wind. It should be okay. Flag's barely moving, so it's not really windy weather by any stretch of the imagination. I guess tonight we're going to go live again. We're going to edit the salmon on the barbecue. I looked at the footage last night, and it was a little bit less well organized than usual, because I only had my phone. I didn't have my Olympus camera, and it was very bright, so it's like right now. So there are weird shadows on some of the food, but still, nevertheless, it looked good, because the barbecue was nice and clean. It's got to get clean, so I guess that's another cleaning chore. And so we had the salmon, which is kind of orange. We had zucchini, which is green and yellow, like green skin and yellow flesh, and a red bell pepper cut up in pieces. So the colors were pretty. It looked pretty on the grill. It looked pretty on the plate. It looked grainy, and it shouldn't be, because it was 6 o'clock yesterday. It's 5 now. Plane going by. The plane. It looked grainy, and it shouldn't be grainy in this light. So I'll have to look at that more carefully on the computer. And I don't know if I want to invest the time for this, but maybe we'll actually open up some of the footage in DaVinci, because DaVinci has more color correcting tools. And not that I know how to use them all, because I like Adobe better and have more experience with Adobe. But it might give me the opportunity to figure out DaVinci's color corrections, as well as improve the look of the footage. But then again, I looked at it really quickly. It was midnight by the time I got home, and I wasn't paying super attention, because I was going to actually do the edit live and share my edit thoughts live. So we didn't really spend time analyzing it all. And then some of the footage was shot with a Canon R5, which I had brought, so I could get some decent stills for a cookbook. And they also look, because it was so bright, they also look a little bit unusual. But I also didn't open them up in Photoshop to see what could be done to um, make them look cookbook quality. So that's this evening. I guess that'll be around 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. Spend an hour and a half on that, and then that will go live Thursday morning. And in last night's live, we talked about, with Arizona Jake, we talked about cheeseburgers. And I think my next onboard cooking venture will be cheeseburgers in paradise. And right now, because I wanted it to be more unique than just a bit of meat with a chunk of cheese, is we'll try a mango burger. It's going to need more than just mango, but basically mango on the bun, and avocado burger. So cheeseburger with avocado. And then Jake was suggesting, I guess he said in Arizona there's a lot of Mexican food influence. He was suggesting Mexican flavor, Mexican cheese. So maybe salsa, but it needs a little bit more than that. So I don't totally know what my third burger is going to be, but I was planning on 3 burgers, and then hopefully I'll invite 2 people down for the live, and we'll taste test the 3 different burgers and see what people think. So I think that's the plan. I think we'll see when the rain comes in to get down here and watch the rain coming down. And if not, then maybe the solution is get those out and just start washing the boat from the front. Let the water run down as it would if the rain was falling from the sky, so straight down. And then see if I can see where I've got a leak. There are a bunch of places where the water is supposed to flow, but it's not supposed to flow into the bilge. It's supposed to flow out to the back of the boat. For instance, there's dorads, so those curved things that let fresh air in, and they have an arrangement underneath them so that if water gets in, the water just runs out, and all you get is fresh air in the cabin. So we'll track that down. It's we don't really want water in the boat. If the pump works, it's not an issue. And this could have been happening for years, but because the pump always pumped the water out as soon as it accumulated, you never noticed it. So we'll see. So having said all that, I'm going to thank you for coming by. Not sure how exciting it was watching me soldering the wires on a bilge pump. But yet, nevertheless, it's part of the fun of having a boat. So having said all that, let's push the button on this live. Where's the button? I can't even see the button because it's so bright outside here. Let's take it to the shade where I can see better. Where's the button? Let's see if we got anybody new here. We'll just take this back into the boat. Yeah, so we got no new people, so let's click the X and say thank you. Am I sure I want to stop? Okay.